feeling it, I know it. In just over 2 months, we're going to have a customer demo day, and your products are going to be coming out to the world.
Say again.
My mum does university, animals, at least 5 jobs. Well, a bit of my mum's app is about if a blind person, if you're in this massive shop that you've never been in, you probably don't know where the braille is. The app is to help you find the nearest toilet or like McDonald's in the whole shop.
When she came and talked about the project, she was a little bit emotional when she was talking about it, because I could see that she actually lived through that problem and she wanted to solve it so other people don't struggle the way she thought she would struggle.
20 years ago next year, I started losing my vision. I've lost a lot of the central vision out of this eye, and I've lost spots out of my left eye. There's nothing like the prospect of going blind to make you a little bit more aware of the public outdoor and public indoor spaces that we negotiate every day with our eyes.
It's definitely not the typical startup. Previous startups who've had a run at that space haven't done well because they haven't really thought through the user experience.
A leader of a tech startup? No, I still don't see myself as a leader of a tech startup. Never in a million years imagined that this would be a reality, really, but it's pretty cool. Everything's going to have to be visually impaired friendly, which is the first challenge or opportunity. Google Maps for the inside, that's how we're branding it.
We're actually looking now at some competitors, because having Google as a competitor is a huge beast, because we're saying like Google owns outside, but Google stops at the door.
You can put toilet in
Google Maps.
In Google Maps, the problem is that all the toilets are inside.
Yeah.
And so GPS doesn't work. And then you also get these really random answers. So I tried it when I was over at Blue Chili, and it told me that the closest toilet was 1.4 kilometres away. I was like, to have my kids watch me go through this and to be able to show them that this is a possibility, normalising what everybody can do. You might not have a tech background, you might be female, it doesn't matter, you might be a mother, you can still do this stuff.
Look, thanks very much for joining us here today. I'm really excited to be here, but probably not as excited as my daughter was when I told her what I was doing today. She's 8 years old and just excited to have got accepted into the coding club, and when I talked to her about what I was going to do today, she said, Daddy, what do I need to do to get here? So look, welcome a great group of people here today. I hope you get a lot out of it. One of the things I think that MYB can offer to you is it shows you what a startup could look like in 25 years' time. Your startups might be bigger than this even, 5, 10 years, you could be the next MYB or Atlassian. Yeah, look, my advice is you're only as good as the people that are working with you, and there's nothing I reckon more important than having a good team.
You're getting feedback from a lot of places and a lot of feedback. So how do you go through and decide what's worthy to change the product?
Sometimes you get the feedback, you do your research, you collect your data, but sometimes you just need to trust your gut feeling and just go ahead and don't let, the fear stop you. It's okay to be afraid, but don't let it stop you.
So, it costs you to build something, it costs you to run that thing, and you're going to charge people for it. And they'll pay for it if they think they're getting value. If it costs you too much to make it, and it can, your business is over. If you don't provide enough value and they don't pay you, your business is over.
Do you think that you've seen your biggest challenge yet? I think we feel like we've got a big mountain to climb at the moment, deciding on exactly how we're going to build it and what we're going to build, and we have to decide pretty soon. So it's those moments when I don't actually know what I need to do, or you don't really know how to ask.
No, I don't think I've seen the worst of it yet, but just trying to juggle everything's pretty full on.
But the fact is, some of the startups in this program could fail. In fact, 95% of startups fail in the wild.
Whether it's the customer demo day or the investor demo day, we've got to have something to show them. It's not enough to talk about the idea anymore. We want something hands-on that people can touch, that they can play around with, give you feedback with. So that's the minimum deliverable. You should have worked with your product managers and agreed on a high-level product plan. This is the very starting point where from everything else will come. Is this scary for anyone else?
I was talking to Marcus about it today. that perhaps even for the customer demo day, we just do something here. But the actual build of a product to where I sort of wave my hands around and say I'd like it to look like this, the product manager's the one who knows what can be done within the team, what it will look like, how much it will cost, and all of those things.
Now they're starting to bring in a team of experts and they're starting to have to relinquish control a little bit. That can be a challenging process because it's their baby, and so that period can be quite challenging. Using this instructional method, whatever that might be, we will align to the most common thing that our target users do.
The relationship with the product manager so far is probably the most difficult one because that's the person that's saying no to me. And I don't like always being said no to. And to me it's like, no, don't chop up my Muppet baby just yet. Like, let's just try and keep this thing the way that I want it.
If you think you know it all, you're going to be very surprised. So much changes all the time and you can't always be over it. So as many people that you can get around you that can help you and support you, the better. So it's being open and saying, okay, well, I do know that I don't have all the capabilities, all the skills I need, and I am open to that.
This is really complicated and we've got to do this really well for the visually impaired. But I'm not a tech and I struggle with what they're talking about. I don't even know how to work this. What's your Skype address? Find that team. Somehow, however, do it. I knew that the tech was there, I just didn't know how to build it. And that's why we're here and working together. So that's from Blue Chili. And over at UTS, I've got my team there that are holding the fort. The first one's called a customer demo day. What we've decided to do, or what we're running with at the moment, is that we're just going to have a little treasure hunt. Everyone's going to get blindfolded that wants to do the treasure hunt.
Ask them, get somewhere. And by being in that position, they will tell you that that's the first thing that I need, that's the second thing that I need, that's the third, and you can get some really cool feedback.
And he's running one of my subjects for me this year. We've managed a fairly good balance between everybody having their input on their level of expertise and without any sort of conflict around that.
You are getting a lot of advice and opinions very early on from a lot of different people, but that's part of the journey that you go through as a founder.
We're always having to make decisions and we're going into MVP stage. It's still me that has to make all these decisions. So you get great suggestions from people, but you can't do everything at the same time.
And I know that there's always risk associated with that, with bringing someone so close into your life.
What's the chemistry between you as co-founders? That's the starting point for this.
And I'm so grateful for it.